What up, what up, what up, YouTube? This your boy 2G, straight out of Rock City, New York. I want to talk about the NWA and Public Enemy beef. Now, it really wasn't a beef. It's just that other people was comparing the two. It ended up being a small beef, but later on, time just squashed it. Time heals all wounds, and on the streets, time heals some beefs, you know. And in this situation with Public Enemy and NWA, what it was, Public Enemy came out with their first album, Yo Bum Rush the Show, and back back then they were the first to wear these clocks, because back in Long Island and around that time, people were saying, "What time is it?" That was a phrase originated by Morris Day in the time. What time is it? And people in Long Island was wearing these clocks, these shower clocks. Flav and Chuck and Griff was wearing them clocks. They was the first to do it in hip hop. Actually, Flav was the first to start rocking them. It was a dare. One of his friends dared him to wear a clock because at first people was wearing stopwatches, the stopwatches, and then somebody dared Flavor Flav to wear that shower clock, and he wore it, and you know, people went crazy. They was laughing, and it was a trend that everybody wanted to start following. In the New York, Long Island area, and they was wearing clocks on the Yo Bum Rusher Show album cover, and in the insert pictures, and then NWA and the Posse, when they came out with that album, they were wearing clocks. I think Ice Cube had a clock on his chest, and on the front, I think it was Sir Jinx had on a huge clock, sort of looked like Flav's. And Flav was wearing big ass clocks eventually. As Public Enemy began to prosper, Flav would come out with bigger and bigger clocks. He at one point he even had a alarm clock on his chest. I think it was that Fight the Power video. But anyway, yeah, NWA and the Posse, they were wearing clocks, and the streets were saying, "Yo, these dudes is trying to imitate PE. Who are these dudes with Jerry curls trying to look like Public Enemy?" You know, that's what people in the streets and other rappers in the industry were saying. But Chuck and Flav, they really wasn't paying it no attention. They felt like they were more influential to the West Coast rappers. PE was big on the West Coast, and they were like the Black Panthers of rap. They were the Black Panthers of rap. But anyway, at a show in Vegas, it was Houdini and Public Enemy, and Mike Tyson was there, and Public Enemy was performing, and backstage, Chuck saw Dr. Dre and Easy E, and Chuck just so happened to have two fresh copies of Public Enemy's new album, It Takes the Nations of Millions to Hold Us Back, and so he gave one to Dre and one to Easy, and then Chuck had to bounce. He had to do a sound check or something, and so he bounced. He gave him the copies, and he bounced, and he took like 20 steps. And when he looked back, Easy and Dr. Dre was still looking at the album cover from front to back. Like they they was stunned by it. They was looking at it like you know like how you like how you would read a report card. You know what I'm saying? Like how you used to read your report card. That's how Dre and Easy was looking at It Takes the Nations of Millions Back album cover. They were studying it like it was a report card. You know, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, months later, Straight Outta Compton album comes out, and this was months after It Takes the Nations. Straight Outta Compton comes out, and you know, um, they they had a similar sound. It wasn't a direct bite, but on a song like Quiet on the Set that was on the NWA album, it sounded like Rebel Without a Pause. A lot of hip hop heads were saying, yo, these dudes is first on the NWA and the Posse album, they was biting their style. Now they're sort of imitating their style. But it didn't get out of hand, because both albums was hot back then. They were both fire, you know. But the thing that caught Chuck's attention was NWA was wearing baseball caps on that album, and in the videos and stuff. They were wearing black Raiders hats and stuff like that. Now, on It Takes a Nations of Millions to Hold Us Back, Chuck has on a Raiders baseball cap, and Chuck D was the first to start wearing baseball caps in the hip hop industry, because everybody else was wearing Kangos, Run DMC was wearing fedoras and things of that nature. You know, Fat Boys was wearing those furry hats, raccoon hats and shit. And Chuck came out with the baseball cap because his family was deep into sports, deep into baseball. Roberto Clemente was Chuck D's hero. That's why he wore that Pittsburgh Pirates hat. And it just so happened that the P stood for Public Enemy. So Chuck was looking like, wow, these dudes looking like me. But it still, didn't really offend him, like that. But people in the streets, they were saying, yo, these dudes is biting off PE. I'm sure Chuck heard it because it was spreading through the hoods of New York like wildfire. But it still wasn't nothing that he would want to, go at NWA about. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, everybody started wearing baseball caps. So he felt like it was more of a trend that he was setting. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, after that, Ice Cube left, and Ice Cube left NWA, and he was out in New York, and he was talking with Public Enemy and the Bomb Squad, and Ice Cube had told Chuck D and Hank that people in LA was laughing at him when he told them that he was coming to New York. So some New York cats can work on his album. They was laughing at him. He was telling Hank, and Hank was like, "Oh, so they laughing, huh? Yo, we'll do your whole album. What they laughing about? We originated this stuff. They the ones wearing Jerry curls and cussing just to get record sales and just to get everybody's attention. What the hell they laughing? Because New York niggas was laughing at West Coast rappers for years. You know, and Hank just couldn't figure out what the hell they was laughing at. So that's what motivated the Bomb Squad to do Ice Cube's whole America's Most Wanted album. Now, um, before America's Most Wanted album dropped, Fear of a Black Planet came out, and they Public Enemy wasn't on the album cover. It was like a design. It was like a design of the Earth. It was like a black planet eclipsing the Earth, and it had a bunch of hot tracks on there. Bomb Squad had that dense production. They had sample break beats and stuff. And then right after that, um, NWA came out with the 100 Miles and Running EP. And the 100 Miles and Running, the song actually sounds like Public Enemy's Revolutionary Generation that was on the Fear of a Black Planet album. It's just that Dre chopped up the drum sample, and he extended it, and NWA rapped over it, but it just it imitated the Bomb Squad's production, their production style, the fast tempo, up tempo break beats, songs like 100 Miles of Running and Real Niggas were Bomb Squad type of sounds, so that had everybody in the street saying, yo, here they go again. You know what I'm saying?